Want to make simple ukulele songs sound even more beautiful without learning anything complicated? This lesson I'll show you 5 easy finger picking patterns that can make even the basic chords sound softer, prettier, and even more musical. Pattern number 1 is a great place to start because it's beginner friendly and it's beautiful. Let's assign some fingers some strings. My thumb, which is indicated by the P, is going to be assigned to the C string. My index finger, which is indicated by the I, is going to be assigned to the E string, and my middle finger, indicated by the M, is going to be assigned to the A string. First, I'm going to hold a C chord, and my thumb is going to pluck the C string. My index finger will pluck that E string, and then my middle finger will pluck the A string. So the counts would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm going to switch to an F chord, and even though I'm only plucking these 3 strings, I'm going to hold the entire F chord. Why? Because we're not perfect people. Because if we accidentally pluck this G string, I almost called it the A string, we pluck that G string accidentally, it's just going to sound like we meant to do it, right? So you just keep going, even though if you pluck a string that you didn't mean to, if you hold your fingers within the chord, you can't lose. All right, so let's try that pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's switch to an A minor. So just lift off your index finger, same finger picking pattern. Hold the entire chord though. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Switch to a G chord, same finger picking pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now hold a C chord. Let's try that with a metronome. I'm at 80 BPM. Each click is going to be considered an eighth note. So really we're at 40 beats per minute. But adding the extra click is just really going to help just keep you on track. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Try it with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Thumb, index, middle, F chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. A minor, lift off index finger. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. G chord and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Hold a C. 2. As we go through these patterns, do not worry about perfection. You're just trying to focus on getting these patterns underneath your fingers so that you can eventually make your real songs sound even more beautiful. Now let's move on to pattern number 2, which builds off of pattern number 1. So we still have that thumb, index, middle pattern, but now we are going to add an index finger pluck. It's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first pattern allowed your brain just to think a little bit about the counts and just allowed it to rest with that quarter note. This one has eighth notes, so it's straight through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's try that with a metronome. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. A minor. 1 and 2 and thumb, index, middle, index, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and hold a C. Moving on to pattern number 3, it's still holding to that eighth note pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just now we're going to switch up the pattern just a little bit. I call it the every other because you're going to be plucking every other string. I'm going to hold my C chord for the start. My thumb is going to pluck the G string, then my index finger, the E string. My thumb will move down to the C string and then middle finger for the A string. So you notice it's an every other. So it plucked every other string. Every other. Try it again. And every other, every other, every other, every other. So let's try that pattern with the metronome with the same chord progression that we've used before. C, F, A minor, G. And again, every single click is going to be an eighth note. Let's try that. 1 and 2 and every other, every other, every other, every other, every F chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, A minor and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, G chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and hold a C chord. Pattern number 4 is a variation of a Travis picking pattern. So this will be very familiar if you know the song Landslide. We're going to take our thumb, pluck that G string and our middle finger, the A string at the same time. And then we're going to use that same pattern that we had before with the every other. It's just going to be just a little offset. So it would be together, every other, every. Do you see that? 1 and every other, every together, every other, every. This may sound a little slow, but if you speed it up, it sounds like this. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, together and every other, every together, every other, every F together, every other, every together, every other, every A minor together, every other, every together, every other, G together, every other, every together, every other, every C chord. Patterns 1 through 4 were in 4/4, so we count to 4 and we start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is most modern pop music, country music, things like that. I think the second time signature that we really need to address is 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because you will find a lot of finger picking pattern songs in 6/8. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to find our C chord, and it's going to be a mixture of the every other and then a backward roll. So that means we're going to pluck from here to here versus here to here. So my thumb still is going to pluck that G string index finger the E string, thumb will pluck the C string, and then middle, index, thumb. So this is the first pattern. Instead of bringing it up, we're bringing it back, like that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Backward roll. 2, 3. Backward roll. Let's try that with the metronome. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Backward roll. 1, 2, 3. Backward roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A minor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold a C. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to place a playlist over here of finger picking tutorials. You can scroll through those, find the one that you think is going to be best for you, and then try out these patterns. Okay? Remember, you are loved, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.